Hello everyone, this is John for PokerVIP.com, and in this video we are back for part 16 of the Grinding TonyBet series, over on TonyBet Poker of course, created by the main man Tony G, playing a mix of stakes and basically just getting in the streets, talking about the hands, and really just trying to make as much money as possible. So I loaded up the site and I set on two 10NL games, one 25NL and one 50NL. And we're basically just going to play those. What looks like is about to happen is the top right table will break. And we might go ahead and swap that out for a little something if I can find something nice looking in the lobby. Which I have. I found a nice 10NL game that we can sit in. So we'll have we'll swap a 10NL heads up for a 10NL regular. Ace Queen here, I'm going to check call the turn. Just going to have some floats. And I think River's going to be a call as well. Not too sure. I was going to say not too sure how often he bets a 4. Well, I think he will go down to showdown with that. But anyway, we are going to put it out of the way. Oh, Doug Polk's head sticking out there. Never have your video file box open, guys, when streaming. Could be dodgy. Don't want to do a big dog's pocket 5 on stream, do we? Ace deuce anyway, we're going to bet the king 5-5. And the ace jack here. I think I've got to go ahead and bluff. I think he's going to have lots of 7s and 8s, but not too many queens or kings, so I think I can get those hands to fold. As strong as ace high is, it just does not feel like the winner in this spot. And we do take that down. Do see we're going to fold. Make sure I've got auto rebuy ticked bottom left. We do now. Nice feature that TonyBet added in. When they first opened, I was like, God, they didn't do auto top up. It's that real like damn moment. But now they are. It feels really good. Now they just have everything on offer. And I think since they've been in part of the OPL, it's really like shown people like, wow, these guys actually really spent some money on this software. Definitely one of the smoothest, lightest softwares out there. I think we've had one minor glitch, like lifetime, whilst playing TonyBet. So very reliable. Cash out super fast as well for anybody wondering. King 10 here, we're going to go ahead and raise it up. We don't like these limpers. We just don't allow them basically to do that to us. Being called in both spots, and it comes ace high. I'm going to bet once and basically be done with it. And I'm just going to go slightly over half pot. It's what I would do with my big aces, my sets, my straights, and everything else value-wise. So we should definitely be doing that with our bluffs as well. Look around the tables, not that many regular faces on. Ernesto Sell, of course. He always grinds. I'm sure a few other regs will join us soon. Oops. If anyone watched part 14, and it was a really fun part 15 as well. Some dynamics versus some regs. Definitely worth checking out. Gonna go ahead and bet my top. I expect myself to have the best hand all the time here. Very hard for me not to have the best hand, so it's kind of like bet and just get lots of money into the middle versus someone we see as a weaker player. If you want to know more about the Online Poker League, excuse me, check out onlinepokerleague.com. TonyBet are part of it. $35,000 added, month-long league. John is bluffing. Call him. I was not, but we now know that this guy knows me, so that definitely changes the outcome. It definitely changes the outcome. When people sort of play versus like someone they've seen like coach or make videos or be a forum member or whatever, they definitely start to play differently. Dynamics do develop just naturally from that. So we've got to keep an eye on this guy now. He's let us into his little secret. Now we need to see what that actually means for us. A6 going to open blind versus blind and fold the 10-3. Seem to always be ill whilst making these videos. A6, I'm going to go for the check. He just has slightly over a pot size bet back. So I'm just going to try and induce. Which we have. And he's got a worse hand and in a really bad spot. He needs a 10, guys. Can you get there? No, he cannot. Going to go ahead and ISO top left. Gemblaris was on a video I made earlier, part 15, and he didn't seem that competent, so I think he's just a weaker player, and we'll just start to try and basically take money from him. And isolating is a good way to do it with an ace in position. It's an easy win for us there. Constantly looking at the lobby, looking for bigger games, better games. But so far, this is pretty much the best on TonyBet at the moment. Although when I do start these videos, like I say, I just sit down at the nearest 4 tables, basically. Just sit down, get involved, and see what happens. Really enjoy making this series. Can't believe we're already halfway through. And we're going to go ahead and call a Queen 10 flop top pair. And we're going to go ahead for the re-ISO here, top right. Queen 10, very easy check call. Great turn. Now assume we always have the best hand. Jack Queen he called. We're going to go for a bet. And Queen 10. We're going to raise and then jam the river, basically. Jack Queen on the turn now. I think I can just go for value again. I think he's going to have lots of draws as well and some worse pairs to call. Queen 10 we snap. Oh, same hand. Queen's top left. We're going to go ahead and bet. And Jack Queen here, I'm going to check and really decide what to do on river. And wow, he's got aces. Jesus. I don't get why he's played it that way. Did not expect that. I was kind of expecting 8s or 9s, or maybe he was going to bluff or something. Hey ho. Looks like we got away with murder there. If I was him, I probably would have just raised turn and got it in. Because I'm going to go with like a lot of draws at that point. I'm probably not going to fold a queen or an overpair like kings, or, just going to put me in some spots with my 10s. And yeah, if I was him, I would have basically just gone for the jugular. Not often you get me reacting like that. But people have really been showing up with some seriously strange hands. Goed Midag is back. I'm going to go back to our isolation top left. Yeah, Goed, we had some really weird hands versus in 14 or 15, I forget. Where he basically just kept opening under the gun with queens or kings, calling my 3 bets and then trying to induce me all the way down. I'm going to go ahead and bet once with ace 4 and be done. Worse hands can call. Better hands can fold. And it's generally a pretty good reason to do what I did. Great river for us here. Imagine this has made us come out in head now. Come out ahead. And I think this is just a very easy call. And he had 10 jack. Yeah, I mean, really not a good river him to bluff on there. 5.5x open here, bottom left, guys. I'll go ahead and fold. But just to note, we have a 5.5x opener. Screaming jacks. Or at least they would say that back in the day. 5-6 suited, we open, we flop nothing. Again, it's going to probably be a one and done. Actually, it's probably not going to be a one and done kind of situation. It's definitely one of those board runouts that I could, double or triple barrel depending on turn and river. And I think this is a good turn for us to go ahead and continue throughout. We're going to have pocket queens, jacks, we're going to have the sets, we're going to have the straights. Interesting river here. I'm really tempted to just go ahead and bomb this in. If he's got a jack, I think he does call me a good amount of time. If he's got a hand like queen 10, I think he's going to really struggle. So I'm going to put him under the pressure here. I can definitely have everything. Damn, he called, so that's been embarrassing. But he had the jack. Never good to get your crazy bluffs called whilst making a video. But basically, the reason I made that bluff is, well, I rep it. He is kind of looking like a 1 pair, like a 9 or a 10. He can have a jack, which he can sometimes fold. But the main thing is, like, he was half stacked. These guys generally don't like to just go broke. So I just wanted to put him under that pressure, really make his 9s or 10s, crumble. And if he does have some jacks, maybe he'll fold. At least we got him to think about it there with the jack. Certainly not an easy call for him to make, that's for sure. Interesting spot bottom left anyway. The guy basically min 3-bet me, so I called. And I'm definitely going to call when I make a pair and a backdoor draw. So nice hand better, 99 there. Nice hand, good call. Jack deuce I called again. I mean, I have literally no idea what this guy's doing. I'm getting a right price. He could have anything, so it's just a call down. And he had 10s. Maybe I should stop bluffing all in with 6 high and just calling down with second pair no kicker. Jack 9 going to go ahead and defend. King Jack going to go for the re-ISO top left. Kings I'm going to open. Ace 4 I'm going to squeeze. So we have action on all 4 tables. Get called in 2 spots here. I'm just going to start by betting, and I do realise if Rika's jams, I have to call. And we might have the best hand sometimes. Might have a hand like 6-7. I make the jack. I mean, I guess this guy's got kings or something. I'm just going to bet big here. Try and get value. If he raises, it'll be a fold. But yeah, we're going to call the king jack and hope we're at least live. We are not. We are dead. Wow. Today is not going well. I have just had a coffee and I do not feel well, so maybe it's all playing against me. If we get a call here, we're going to have the best hand all the time. Got some really nice value from him there. Kind of feels like kings, but it might just be a queen. Sadly, he mucked, so we can't see. It'll be like king, queen, kings, something like that. Deuces, we're going to raise. So yeah, that hand where he had kings, it's just one of those unavoidable spots once you've squeezed. And once these guys can really have anything, and I'm sure you guys have seen this throughout the series, like they can just have like ace deuce, king nine, like king 10, whatever. So betting's going to take it down a lot, and sometimes he might just ship it in with like his gut shots with straight draws or some random any twos. So once I've bet, I'm getting a good price to call, and we just go with it. We hope he folds, of course. I mean, that is obviously the best, scenario for us, but pretty whatever. Once you bet. So a failed bluff, a failed call, a failed bet call, but we plod on these typical sessions. King 4 bottom left. I'm gonna just check, and then bet river. Just see if I can induce the turn though. And it's just gonna be a check call on river as well, even on this river. 10 jack, we're going to go ahead and c-bet and beat that guy's ace-8 bottom left. The inducing worked nicely for us there. So yeah, 8 parts left after this. We get raised here. I'm pretty sure I opened and he flatted. So really not too sure what he has. Interesting turn card. Like 9x of hearts now takes the lead, but it does kind of make it harder for him to have a set. Because now he'd have quads. And it is not easy to make quads. He's continuing to bomb, so he's repping like 3 of a kind or a full house. But not too sure we can give him that. We hit the jack on the river here. And it kind of feels like one of those spots where we just check and we assume he's going to have more bluffs. It just does suck if he checks back like a 9 or pocket 5s, but we think he's bluffing more often than he has something, so we've got to check to induce. Sadly, he checks, and now I kind of feel like he had like 5s full or something, and I've missed the value. Although when he thinks for that long, maybe it's a 9. Oh, he had 3s. 3s was nothing. So I'm glad I checked. At least gave him the chance. I'm surprised he didn't pull the trigger there, because I can have some misdraws and some overpairs that he can really, really punish. But his raise and bet was just very odd there. I would say if you're going to make bluffs like that, which you shouldn't, like, go for it. You know, like it's better to go for it than to just, like, raise, bet, give up. Because there are lots of hands that can fold on that river. You know, the ace highs that, now play the board basically, and queens, kings, and aces won't feel good. And if I had pocket 5s myself, then I'm gonna fold there, and just all those kind of like spots where I can fold and I could fold. Gonna go ahead and lead here with my straight draw. Just a nice change to check calling or check raising. He actually raises here, which is interesting. Gonna float the king jack, gonna call with the straight draw. Gonna check the jack and check fold now on that jack. We did not want to see a board pair. You win, Tony. Tony is a big regular. He plays all day, every day. So we won't mess with him. Just looking at the TonyBet lobby, Android, iOS available, Hold'em Omaha, OpenFace Chinese. You know, 10k leaderboard, 3k MTT leaderboard, 3k sit and go leaderboard, up to 80% weekly rake back. I mean, it's really, really quite nice. I really do love them. Anyway, 10s we open, top left. Oh, yoy. Nice to see the aces dealt. I was wondering when they would make their appearance. Bear peels and we have an overpair, and we have a really nice spot here versus Tony, where we can 3-bet the button and look like we're just being aggressive, which we quite often are. Tens he calls, 5 on a turn. We're just going to bet again. We're going to assume he's got like pocket threes, pocket fours, some flush draws, 7s, 8s, 9s. It's not just always going to be hands that crush me. No action with the aces, sadly. He check raises here, so he's wrapping like a straight 3 of a kind or a full house. Not sure we can give that to him yet, so we're going to call. 10 of hearts would be cool. Deuce on the river, so now it's like, okay, so you have quads, a 6, 5's full, or a straight. Not too sure how often he bets 5's full though, so I think it's just going to be a call on the river once he bets, and just assume he can be bluffing a good amount of time. And he actually pots it, which is somewhat worrying, but I think we just have to go for it here. And he has 8, 9 of diamonds. I don't know what to say, guys. I don't know what to say. Calling bluffs on TonyBet is like the most fulfilling feeling in the world. And if any of you guys want to see clips of that happening, go to the Poker VIP Facebook page. We put clips up, and there's just so many spots where it's like, yeah, I'm just going to check this guy and let him bluff. And then he just bluffs, and it's just like, Jesus, like, why? Like, you know, it's like such bad spots to them. Their sizing's so odd. You know, fair play for him for giving it a go. You know, between him and Elmen Horster, you know, they are just like really picking some interesting spots and sizing and, you know, whatever to go with it. 8, 9 of diamonds as well, like no blockers. Like, you know, like you kind of understand if he has like ace 3 or ace 4. And or, you know, say he has like the ace of hearts and he's going for that to like plan like a river bet if another heart comes, but to just have nothing and no blockers and just be hoping that, you know, I fold, then, you know, it's quite random. Jack 9, I bet my gut shot, turned a pair. Check river, hope to win, but lose to ace 5. I think he played that hand really well. 10-4, we're going to fold. 4-6, we're going to fold. We're probably going to be folding the deuce 3 at the top as well. So we got our money back versus Bear. It was just a loan, buddy, when he managed to call our bluff. And we had 6 high. And that's like a really rash bet, by the way. Like, I didn't really go into it at the time. Like, it is really rash. Like, it's crazy, it's spewy, whatever, in a sense. But when you really break it down to, like, how many really strong hands he can have and how many I can have and his stack size and our perception of him or whatever, it does make a lot more sense. And, you know, I'm happy I pulled the trigger in those kind of spots, because it does get a lot of faults. Huge what going on here, an overbet all in 10s, and wow. Yep, guys, if you ever have quads, just overbet all in. I mean, that is something. I kind of thought he was going to be like one of those fishy kind of guys who was scared of, like, you know, another overcard coming to his 10s. But nope, he was just like, oh, I've got quads. If I put all my money in and get called, I make some. So that was his strategy. Really getting quite bitchy about these players, aren't I? Maybe it's because I'm poorly. But yeah, you don't really see many people just over jamming quads. It looks like Bear's about to go broke here. I think we're going to lose Little Bear. And we're going to go ahead and ISO bottom right. He's got a chance of running it once, so I don't... Ooh. Well, I guess I don't like his chances on that flop, but he found it. So yeah, 4 parts every single month for 6 months, 24 parts in total. Please go check them all out. You know, check out parts 1, 2, all the way to 16 that we're on now, and make sure you go check out the final 8. They're going to get exciting. We're going to have a guest PLO appearance as well from a very well-known coach. threes here. Pretty bad flop for us, so we're just going to check fold. Might win. Might not. Queen deuce fold. Sevens we're just going to call. Actually, again, I think that's a mistake by me. I didn't realize this guy had 30 big blinds. I think I should probably just 3-bet, get it in. I'm going to bet here, and if he raises, I'll just fold and really put it down to just me being stupid pre-flop. Going to float here with a gut shot and backdoor flush draw. And just call again. King 8, we're going to go ahead and bet. Anything on this river, we can just go ahead and raise. Spewing again, guys? Possibly. Especially when he snaps me off with King 9. But looking at his sizing in the board, it kind of just felt like he kind of like had one of those random second pairs that I could get to fold. Maybe we could just fold flop or turn there. We'll call this the, I would say we'll call it the downswing video, but I think we're up. So we'll call it the spew edition. You gotta love a good spew edition. The old man flu has got us. Hopefully you guys are still learning lots though, and just basically reassuring yourselves of lines to take and lines not to take. Like I say, at Poker VIP, we never allow a coach to like remove a video or delete parts of a video. You know, you make the take, you play the poker, you discuss the positives and the negatives, and that is what makes us all better poker players. I forget who I was talking to years ago, who basically just like always looked at like, you know, like losing pots or winning pots or something. And I was just like, buddy, all you keep putting out on the forum is like winning hands. Like, why are you asking for advice on these? Like, you've got to look at your negatives. He's like, yeah, I put some like hands where I lost though. And I was like, yeah, but you had like, you know, it was like a bad beat almost. He's like, yeah. And I was like, look at the negatives. Pull up your stats. You know, look at the hands you lose. Look at the 30 to 40 big blind pots that you've lost. That's what's really going to make you a winning player. You got to look at the negatives and you've got to put them out into the poker world. Especially when like the poker world's like really anonymous as well. Like you can just be called like player 1 on a forum and you can just post like every stupid thing you've done, every mistake you've done. Nobody will ever know it's you. And you just get loads of free help. So definitely never be shy, because remember there is a way of people just not knowing it's you, if that is one of your obstacles. Anyway, top left here, Bear's probably just bluffing with like ace 10 or queen 10 or something. Yeah, Jack Queen. Gambler's just slow rolls in with a flush. I mean, it's just brutal. It is just brutal what they do to these guys. Hopefully he rebuys, but he does. Wow, rebought to the max. I didn't expect that. Normally when people like felt from going down to like 10 big blinds, they don't often rebuy. Gonna go ahead and defend with the 3-7 of clubs. Get a really bad flop. I mean, he could just bet 10 cents here. That's exactly what he should do, because it just really hurts when someone does that and you've got to fold. He actually checks. If I was him, I'd bet that flop that all day long. If I'm not betting that flop, it probably means I have like an absolute monster. Interesting, it's just checking this down. Maybe he just got some showdown, like a kings or something that he just wants to induce me with. Wow, king 8. I would never take that line if I was him. He can just bet like so often, so frequently on that flop and take it down, or delay c-bet it. If I was him, I would not let my any 2 continue to seed turns and rivers. Not too sure if he watches these videos still, but he's a Poker VIP member, so shout out, go ahead if you're watching. Leave a comment. He's in a few pots on the top 2 tables as well. He likes mixing up, he likes getting in there. Gonna go ahead and raise these 8s and not fold versus this guy's 30 big blind stack. He definitely seems active enough. Gonna call with ace queen in position versus a UTG open. 8s, this guy calls, and we can now get put in this horrible spot where the pot's bigger than his stack. So we're going to bet small and basically do this because we could also be bluffing so frequently with this sizing on this board. And now we just hope it checks down, but once he jams, we're going to have to fold. Not an ideal situation. Ace Queen's a pretty easy call versus this squeeze, but from go ahead. In position, Ace Queen versus a squeeze. You can definitely play it. I love his sizing here. One which I am obviously going to float. And then turn, if he bets, it'll just be a fold. He checks. So is this him checking again to induce? Maybe, maybe not. Does look if we go to showdown here versus Ace King, but this is just going to be a check down for me. Jack 7, I'm going to float with my gut shot. Now turn a double gut shot. And yeah, check, check, check. Actually had an 8. He really just wants to induce me. It's like his big goal in life. Call with the double gut shot, getting 5-1, and then we're not going to go for the check raise. Oh god, he's got 3s this time. Almost proves what I was saying in the first time around that I bluffed him, but that one, the trigger would not have been pulled. So yeah, go ahead. Just is so addicted to checking to me. Just loves it. Just loves checking that river. Aces UTG. Go for the 3x open. And same with the 6-7 suited UTG1. Being 3-bet here. And we are about 130 something bigs deep. So we're going to go for the 4-bet. 6-7 we are going to bet once and be done. Which is nice that he folds. Go for a 4-bet here with the aces and he folds as well. Try to keep it small enough for him to peel. Or to induce a 4-bet, 5-bet. But he just thought, nope, not today. Gonna defend with the 7-8 suited. Really good flop. Definitely one we can check raise with the backdoor flush draw as well there. 3x looks good. 8-10 suited gonna check. I'm gonna get the fold there. Good turn here. I'm actually gonna pot size bet this one. I think a lot of you know I like to do this with my draws. And I mix it with draws, with sets, with nuts. Definitely balance it. But when you got a draw this strong, there's certainly nothing wrong with doing it. The only thing that would suck is if they made a massive raise. He calls here. I think he's actually going to have a lot of misdraws himself. So I think I'm just going to bet again. I don't think I need to go too big here. But essentially I want him to fold his queen 10s, his king queen of hearts, hands like that. Which he does. Don't need to go massive there. We assume he's actually more draw heavy than pair heavy, so 2/3 is about right. You can maybe go slightly smaller, but just in case he does have that second pair, that sizing should be spot on. And we're actually going to end it after these hands. Or should I just say end it now? Because none of them are of any interest. So yeah, thanks for watching. This was part 16. Check out the previous ones, check out the later ones, leave some comments and reviews, and good luck at the tables. This was John for PokerVIP.com.